podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hi, I'm Phoebe Becker.
I'm James Hernandez.
Team GB Figure Skaters.
You're listening to the latest on the Winter Olympics from
Anything But Footy.
No news is sometimes good news, as athletes are arriving and they're in practice in the Winter Olympics venues in Milan and Cortina. I'm Michael.
And I'm John, and this is the second Milano Daily from Anything But Footy, talking about the Olympic and the Paralympics all the time, not once every 4 years.
We've the very latest headlines in our news from the Games, including a shock injury blow for Canada.
And we look ahead to two more Team GB stars in action this week in freestyle skiing and snowboarding.
Hi, I'm Chris McCormick. You're listening to Anything But Footy with the latest on the Winter Olympics.
And away from the Winter Games, there's other Olympic sports in action. In other news from the Games, we'll hear about cycling success and boxing. This is Anything But Footy, the second Milano Daily for the 2026 Winter Olympics. You can download, you should listen, and you should definitely follow. And do pass it on to your friends who will be watching and listening and following on, all your fellow Olympic fans.
Hi, I'm Lila Fear.
And I'm Lewis Gibson, and you're listening to Anything But Footy,
with the latest on the Winter Olympics.
First, the main Milano Daily headlines from Anything But Footy. So far, so good for our Team GB athletes. They're all safely settling into their athlete villages across the various locations in northern Italy. It's the Milano Cortina Games, but we also have an athletes village in Livigno where the freestyle snowboard and skiing athletes are going to be based. Most have started doing their training in the Olympic venues and arenas and are getting ready for action. So no news is good news, as you'll hear from Canada in a moment.
Yeah, and we'll hear also from Maisie Hill and Txema Brown as well, who were training last night in the big air on the snowboard, about how they're getting on from that. We'll hear from them in the podcast later, and also their love of pizza. Everybody, I've heard from the American snowboarders as well, everybody is eating this amazing Italian pizza. So this is what you've got to look forward to.
Pizza and Peroni. That's going to be my Winter Olympics.
Now, we're told that Milan is pretty grey, wet and cold at the moment, not looking much better for the rest of the week. But, of course, this is the Winter Games. Now, Friday's opening ceremony in the San Siro could be a wet one, but surely not as bad as Paris.
As long as I'm not on a bridge with no cover. If I'm inside the stadium, I think we should be okay. I'm just looking at the Milan weather forecast. Yeah, they're saying 95% chance of rain on Friday. The good news is, actually, when competition starts Saturday through next week, it's going to be dry, cool and clear. So I know that obviously Milan isn't going to be like the snow sports. We're going to be in the venues, but just in terms of that getting around. And also, I think, importantly, as you will know, just that atmosphere that a city can have when people are in the bars or the restaurants or the whatever, the different places around the city. Just the fact that it's not going to be pouring with rain might just, I think, just help build that, which I think is important for a host venue.
Yeah, absolutely. And we know the cauldron is there and available to go and see. It's going to be like a fan park round there as well, at the Arch of Peace as well, which is the other side of Milan Castle. So yeah, you're right. You want to be able to walk around and get around Milan. But safely inside, obviously, are the IOC. Never fear. They are well protected. And they've had the opening of the latest IOC session, bringing together all members from around the world. I saw Seb Coe, president of World Athletics, of course, asking one of the questions today. Everyone you meet cannot wait for the games to begin, says Kirsty Coventry, the IOC president. Now, at the start of the session, she also affirmed the heart of the Olympic message, which is really key this year, and it has been for a number of years, that the games are a neutral space where sport comes first. We talked about the Olympic truce in the last episode, and we hope that the world is taking note of that. Now, also at the session, they're going to be focusing very much on the Milano Games and looking ahead to LA 2028, because we don't talk about football, but they have announced the soccer venues in the last hour or so that as we were recording. New York will be staging one of the football matches. We also know that soccer matches in the Olympics always get sort of sent around the rest of the country, don't they? So lots of opportunities for that. But look, they're not going to be debating the plans to change the winter sports. So Kirsty Coventry's Fit for the Future process that's looking at all aspects of the Olympic movement in the years to come, that is not up for debate in these 2 days.
Yeah, I saw a headline actually. The first thing I saw this morning when I woke up was an email saying Coventry cites long, sometimes bumpy Olympic journey. I thought I'd missed the news that the West Midlands were bidding for the Olympics with the whatever they call that stadium in, was it the Ricoh Arena?
Yes.
I was like, what? What's going on here? So I know I'd previously pushed Birmingham when the Commonwealth Games were there, but I'm still sort of trying to get used to Kirsty Coventry being the IOC president. It's still sort of, because for so long it's been
Thomas Bach or Jacques Roger.
Yeah, I know. So it's an interesting one. Anyway, let's move on to our news from the games. I mentioned no news from Team GB is good news. That said, we are speaking to them on a daily basis, various members of the team. A huge disappointment for the Canadian pairs figure skaters who have pulled out of this weekend's team event after injury during their final training in Quebec. 42-year-old Diana Stella Dudek and her partner Max Deschamps are now considering their place in the pairs competition proper following Diana's injury. It just shows, and how many times have we said it, how unpredictable snow and ice sports are, how much of a knife edge a lot of these athletes are, that still at this stage you could miss your chance through injury.
We wish all the Team GB athletes a safe warm up for the games. Now, also, the Court of Arbitration for Sport has 2 offices set up in Milan and Cortina for the Winter Games, and they've been pretty busy already. Well, I say they've been busy. They've been hearing cases. Whether they've come up with any decisions, I'm not sure. America's Katie Eulandia, you may have seen this in some of the newspapers in the last few weeks, asked them to look at a decision by the Canadian Bobsleigh and Skeleton Organisation to remove 4 athletes from a World Cup event in January, which she actually won. But effectively, because they've removed 4 athletes, it gave her less qualification points due to a lack of competitors. So she missed out on an Olympic Games. She didn't qualify. And so she went to CAS asking for that to be overturned. And CAS have released a statement saying that there is no jurisdiction for them to consider the application. Effectively, they say the appeal has taken too far ago, or that the appeal hasn't come in quick enough, and they're looking at the Winter Games, and it needed to be nearer to the Winter Games, not in the middle of January. So no decision is no decision. Nothing to see here at all. CAS have said, no, it's nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that's the IOC playbook right there, isn't it? And we can put the Court of Arbitration for Sport and the International Olympic Committee very much in the same box there. You're listening to Milano Daily from Anything But Footy. Tomorrow's news today for Team GB and our latest news from the games coming up next.
Hi, it's Niall Tracy here, Team GB short track speed skater. You are listening to the Olympics with Anything But Footy.
This is Milano Daily from Anything But Footy. Time now for TNT, tomorrow's news today. We are slightly ahead of schedule as lots actually happening before Friday evening's opening ceremony. So we heard from Bruce Murray and Jen Dodds in our previous episode. They are the mixed team curlers, of course, and they will be the first Team GB athletes in sort of competition proper. So on Thursday, which is sort of day -1, that's what the Olympics call it. They call opening ceremony day 0. I might be telling our audience how to suck eggs here.
Not at all.
But they call opening ceremony day 0. And then there is always obviously a bit of competition before the opening ceremony, which is -1, -2. So Thursday, which is day -1, so the day before the opening ceremony, Bruce and Jen will be getting things going from 9 o'clock in the morning at the Cortina Curling Olympic Stadium against Estonia. And there will also be other matches taking place on the sheet at the same time. Korea versus Italy, Sweden against Czechia, Norway against the USA.
And it's quite interesting that some of them are related. So there's a brother and sister competing for the Swedes, and then there's married couples as well. And not just one, but 3. I think Jen and Bruce's first opponents on Wednesday is against Norway, and they're a married couple. Also, Canada, who play Italy in the evening session, they're a married couple. Switzerland are a married couple as well. I mean, talk about keeping it close in curling. There's no secrets, is there?
I know. I just wonder about the dynamic at home if you've, misplaced your stone in training that morning. Can you leave work at work and can you leave home at home? What if you haven't emptied the dishwasher or something like that? A little insight into my domestic life. Therefore, apparently you can fill a dishwasher the wrong way. Who knew? Italy may be the ones to watch out for. Reigning champions, unbeaten in Beijing. They won Italy's first ever curling gold. They'll be looking to do the same at home, of course. And I know, having spoken to Bruce and Jen and some of the other curlers, they are, I think, all quite looking forward, I think, to playing, especially those that competed in Beijing where there weren't crowds, big crowds. They are looking forward to playing when Italy are playing and then against Italy as well, because I think they really do feel there'll be a sort of terrific atmosphere there for that.
Loads more curling to come, so do stay with us. We'll be talking Bruce and Jen a lot. Now, we've heard a lot about the British women freestyle skiers and snow sporters as well. The likes of Kirsty Muir, Mia Brooks, Zoe Atkin, winning World Cup medals and the X Games before these Olympics. But what about the British men? Well, one of them is in action on Thursday, day -1. Thank you. Txema Mazet-Brown is a 19-year-old big air and slopestyle snowboarder who, just a little more than 2 years ago, was world junior champion. He's also been to the Youth Olympics, he's been telling me. He's making his Olympic debut for Team GB, currently ranked 15th in the World Cup standings in the big air, and he's in action in that qualification in Livigno, one of 4 clusters hosting events in the Games. And I've been speaking to him and Maisie Hill, who's also in action in the women's snowboarding as well, about their trip to the Games.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's really fun. It's sick to be with like all the other athletes. The Olympic Village is really cool. Feel really grateful to be a part of this. And yeah, we already did one training on the big air jump, and it's really nice. So it's just so like it makes it so much more fun when the jump is really nice to jump and like you want to jump it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Am I right in saying that was last night under the lights? Is that right? How special was that? I've just listened to the American snowboarders at their press conference talking about how much snow there was and the like.
Yeah, there's loads of snow. And the jump isn't icy at all. So like they have enough snow for it to be really nice. Yeah, I think I was smiling the entire time. Like I was having so much fun. Yeah.
Txema, how is it for you?
Good, good. Just settled in nicely in the Olympic Village. We're in the main building, which is supposedly the best one. So that's nice because a bunch of the friends have been trying to sneak into our dining hall because their food is not as good. So nice we don't have to go outside to get to that. But no, it's been good. Training last night. First training, kind of just figuring out the jump was really nice. It's quite a mellow jump, and a bit smaller than usual, which is different, but I've been enjoying it, and yeah, it was working for me. So on to the next training tonight, and should ramp things up, kind of thing.
Because you're in action before the opening ceremony.
Yeah. On the 5th, we have qualifying, which is the day before.
The fact that you said that you've been looking at the jump being a little bit smaller, has that changed the way that you're thinking about those qualifications?
Not for me. I think for the bigger trick, just spin fast and really get the technique right, and it should be good. And then another trick I can get done on a smaller jump. So no, it works for me.
Maisie, I think you're in action on day 2. Is that right? So you've got a bit longer?
Yeah, on the 8th, I think.
So what does that allow you when you've got a bit more time than Txema for your qualifications?
I think it's just one more day that we get.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's nice. Maybe the girls need a little bit more time to get used to the jump than the boys, because the boys tend to get used to it pretty quick, like compared to the girls. But no, it's cool. It's nice.
Txema, you mentioned about the food. The Americans have said they're just eating pizza all the time. What are you guys having?
I'd like to say something different, but it's kind of the same thing, to be honest. The pizza is the best option at the meal area because I don't know, the other stuff. Actually, there was steak the other day, but it was a bit chewy, so hopefully they can cook it a bit less next time. But yeah, last night after the training, it was pretty late, around 11:30ish, and everyone trying to just fight for the pizza because there's not unlimited pizza either. So every time they bring a fresh one out, it would go in a minute. Yeah. So pizza it is.
And they're big pizzas as well. They're huge.
Are they Italian pizzas? This is the question. Are you getting the full Italian flavor?
Yeah, for sure. It's a good pizza. Otherwise, it would kind of suck. But no, it's a proper one.
Final question for me on a serious note. It's your first games. Tell us the experience. Is it everything that you hoped it would be so far?
I wasn't hoping, I didn't really know what to hope for, to be honest.
Yeah.
But been to a Youth Olympics before, so I mean, obviously it's on a much smaller scale, the Youth Olympics, but yeah, I guess I'm enjoying it and really taking every kind of step of the way in and just focusing on what's at hand. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying myself. I've done a lot of work coming up to the games. So, um, yeah, just want to put it all into play, like when it comes to it. Yeah, it's super cool to be here.
Well, we're really proud that you're both out there, and we can't wait to see you in action over the next few days. And good luck to you all.
Amen. Thank you.
So Txema, Maisie Brown and Maisie Hill speaking to us today from their Olympic apartment. And don't forget as well, Txema spoke to John last year as part of our special GB Snow Sports series. You can hear that full episode by listening back. But let's continue our preview and look ahead, slightly further ahead actually, to the official day one of the Games. So we said opening ceremony days, day zero, keep up. So day one is Saturday, February the 7th. And at the Livigno Snowpark, it's men's qualifying for the freeski slopestyle, and Team GB has an interest in that too.
I'm Chris McCormick, and I'm a slopestyle and big air skier.
Talk us through what people should know. First of all, slopestyle. What do people need to listen out for when we hear about slopestyle?
So slopestyle is made up usually 3 jumps, 3 rails. So on the jumps, you're going to hear terms like double corks, bios, misties, and then on the rails it's stuff like 270 on, front swap, pretzel, stuff like that.
And big air?
Big air is a lot easier. 1 big jump, and yeah, similar to the jumps in the slopestyle course, you'll hear double corks, triple corks, 1440s, 1800s, big spins, big flips.
How would you describe what you do? What goes through your head? Is it a mixture of adrenaline, fear, excitement?
I think all those things come into play when you're training, but for me personally, when it comes to your run, it's just go and let it happen. Just be, trusting in yourself that all the preparation and all the work that you've put in till this point is there and is quite deep ingrained in you. It's almost muscle memory. You just go out there, let it happen.
How important is experience? And do you get to sort of practice on the course? Do you get to see the venue? Are you able to set things up in a similar way for training?
Yeah, so for every competition we go to, you get, usually it's 2 days of training before, where you're going and you're figuring out the course, seeing how the jumps feel, seeing how everything flows together. And I do think experience does play a huge role in that, and I've noticed it in the last couple of years in particular, as I've been on the circuit for a while now, and you can really use it in a positive way. I'm getting to the point where I've skied these courses a lot, like year after year, and okay, I need to do that there, a bit more speed here. That's a hard option. So it's about using that to your advantage.
And Chris, do you visualize, do you manifest what you want to go there and achieve, what you'll be happy on the plane home with?
I wouldn't say that I've got any particular result in mind. As long as I go and give it absolutely everything I've got, I'll be happy. It's at the end of the day, it's the Olympics. There's 30 skiers in the field. It's anyone's day. Just go and give it your best.
I've been chatting to your manager, your boss, Chef de Mission, Yves Muirhead today, and the one word that we keep saying is unpredictable. And snow and ice sports are unpredictable, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say slopestyle and big air skiing, almost more than anything, can be unpredictable, which is part of the reason we love it. It's a great watch.
So that is Team GB's Chris McCormick in action Saturday, 1 o'clock UK time in the freeski slopestyle at the Livigno Snowpark, and it was great to chat with him.
Hi, I'm Ashley Nelson, and you're listening to Anything But Footy with the latest on the Winter Olympics.
News from the Games away from the Winter Olympics. Great Britain have won their first golds of the European Track Cycling Championships in Turkey. Joe Truman won the men's 1K time trial, while Katie Archibald, Millie Cousins, whose dad played for Leeds United, by the way, Josie Knight, Anna Morris and Kate Richardson were the squad that won the women's team pursuit. It was a bronze for the British men, and that comes as Emma Finucane set a new world record in the women's sprint. The Olympic champion set a new 200 metres track record of 9.759 seconds, becoming only the third woman in history to go under 10 seconds. So can we say that Emma is the fastest female cyclist in the world?
If that is the case, yeah. It's like it's the fastest man over 100 metres, isn't it? It used to be Usain Bolt, or still is. He's still got the world record.
Well, I'm going to defer to our cycling expert, Georgia Holt. And I think that's exactly what she posted on her social media accounts today. Georgia, who of course is a world champion and Commonwealth Games medalist and was part of our commentary team on the radio for the Summer Games in Paris. I think she's posted on social media that Emma is the fastest woman cyclist in history. So yeah, we'll go with what Georgia says. She knows.
Not bad, is it, being that quick and an Olympic champion as well. Good luck to her in the individual sprint. We'll keep you up to date with that, what's going on in the European Track Cycling Championships in Turkey. And one other headline away from the Winter Olympics as well. World Boxing has appointed Tom Dalen as its new Secretary General. He'll take charge this month. He'll lead and manage the day-to-day operations of World Boxing on the way to the Los Angeles Olympic Games in 2028. It's not that far away. We're going to keep mentioning LA. We've already mentioned the football and soccer today, and now we're talking boxing. Belgium and Swiss national, Dalen has nearly 30 years of experience and spent the last 20 years as Secretary General of World Archery.
Don't forget, we'll be here every day with your Milano Daily. We'll have Team GB results, reaction, news, views, interviews, everything you need to know about the games and TNT, tomorrow's news today. You can always find us on social media. You can check us out on Instagram, on Threads. Remember to listen to our Olympics music playlist on Spotify. You are listening to Milano Daily from Anything But Footy.
Hi, I'm Eve Muirhead. I'm chef de mission. You're listening to Anything But Footy with the latest on the Winter Olympics.